This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello, thank you for joining us. You're in the conversation room once again. Our topic today is a serious one. It has a serious undertone. We're talking about illegal migration. Now, this is something that is very important because, you know, we have so many young people out there that are watching us and saying or thinking to themselves, you know what? The grass seems to be greener on the other side. Let me leave my home. Let me leave Nigeria and let me go and see what I can, let me make something better for myself out there. Our guests today, I'll leave them to introduce themselves.
I'm Faith.
My name is Deva Mom. Hello. That's Maria.
And my name is Josiah.
Well, on behalf of the women in the conversation room, you are blessed among women.
Thank you. And I can say that I'm enjoying
I'm also Catholic. I think it's allowed.
I'm already enjoying myself.
Thank you for joining us. Sometimes when we invite the men to come in, they're like, women, surrounded by women, and everyone is asking me questions. You know, I'm not sure if I can handle it. But today we want to talk about illegal migration. Maybe you want to help us with some definitions, because I know this is your field of expertise.
Well, first of all, when we talk about illegal migration, what that means is that there is a one called legal migration. And in migration, it is everybody's right to migrate from one point to the other. It could be within a country, moving from one rural community to the city. Is allowed. When you migrate from a country to another country, it is also allowed. Even biblically, migration is something that had been with us. If you are somebody who has been reading the Bible and all that, you will know that migration is not something that started today. So it is anybody's right to move from one place to the other. Okay. But what is happening now is that people now move from one point to the other for the wrong reasons. And because they are moving for the wrong reasons, that is where illegal migration has come in. Because before you move from your country to another, you must possess your travel documents. Now, what are those travel documents? You'll be talking about your international passports. You'll be talking about a visa to be able to take you into a different country that is not yours. But what we have today is that people are desperate.
I know.
To move from one country to the other in the name of looking for the greener pastures. And that makes them now move to countries that are not theirs illegally. And that is where illegal migration comes in.
All right, we have a short drama skit that we're going to watch about illegal migration, which I think is going to be a food for thought and will set the conversation for the rest of the program. This is Conversation here on NTA. We'll be right back after this.
I told you. Ehinomo, you never listen to me. You promised me heaven and earth. I told you that does not matter to me. No call, no messages from you. Your mother is lonely. You know, you are all I desire since your father left us. This is 4 years now that you travel with your friends to Obodo Imbo to bring for us good things. No call from you. Even your friends come home. They even travel and come home. And even call their parents. But you, no message, no call. They even attend Igwe festival. What have I done to you? Eh? Your mother is lonely. Your mother is lonely.
Good afternoon, Mama.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Are you my son?
Some things for you. You are still crying? Oh, Mama. I've told you not to. We are here for you. Look at me. I'm here for you. You shouldn't be doing this.
Yes, I know. But where is Ehinomo? You traveled with him, but you came back.
Actually, Mama, that is true. I actually traveled with him. We went together.
What is it that you don't want to tell me?
Hold on, Mama. Hold on. Hello, boss. Yes, I was there now. I did go. Boss. The thing had me. I don't go fit talk am. Okay, you dey come. Please come. Please come. Okay, boss.
What is it that you don't want to tell me? Kemi! What is it? Is my son dead? Oyinbo people has killed me, oh, Salobua, oh.
No, Mama.
What is
He
it?
never got to Europe.
Eh? Eh?
He died in the desert.
Eh?
He couldn't.
My son? Oyinbo Salobua, oh. Oyinbo people has killed my
Mama,
son,
calm down,
oh.
Mama, please.
Hey!
Please stop this,
Hey!
Mama. Please.
Hey! Mama! 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 Please wake up.
Okay, so that obviously didn't end too well, but the purpose of this conversation is not to strike the fear of God into anybody who wants to travel. You're not all going to die, and there are people who have taken risks, even bad risks, that have paid off. What we are saying is you need to think on your feet and not be nearly so desperate, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not all sunshine and roses over there. Yeah. Now, I remember that you said something about the reason it's illegal migration is because people travel to go and do the wrong thing. What about people who obtain legal documents and still do the wrong thing? Purposely, they get legal documents, everything is in order, but they're leaving Nigeria. So they can go and be a prostitute where nobody knows that I'm a prostitute, and then come home with all this money and everything. Although most of the time, people who leave illegally are more likely to, go undercover and go and do some of these things. I was just thinking, what's the correlation between getting legal papers, and then what your intention is when you get over there?
No, what I was actually saying is not going there to do the wrong things. I'm talking about trying to migrate for wrong reasons.
For wrong reasons, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the point I was trying to...
Migration for wrong reasons, not to go and do the wrong thing.
No.
Clarify.
Yeah. What I mean by that, when you talk about to migrate to do the wrong things, what that means is that you are leaving the shores of your country to another country with the purpose to go and do something that is not even within the law. But when you are talking about traveling for wrong reasons, one, you are in Nigeria. Just because there are some challenges now, you now think that the grass over there is greener. You think that when people go out there, they plug money on the streets. What that means is that you are seeing that place as a place where you can pluck money from the trees, but that's not the situation. Now, you are going there not because you really want to go and find something useful to do, but you are going there with wrong impression of what you will see there. You are going there with a wrong impression of what is likely to happen there. But you and I also know that when we are talking about illegal migration, there are so many things. And it's also important that we look at illegal migration in various perspectives. There are those who migrate to places without papers.
Yep. Which brings me to the local migration. Faith, what do you think of all the rural-urban, because that's a serious issue in Nigeria.
Yes.
Because each time you look at these paperwork, I think they say, the ratio is 70-30, with the larger majority of Nigerians being rural dwellers.
Okay.
And most of them don't want to continue in that circumstance where you don't have electricity, you don't have
basic
potable
amenities.
water, basic amenities. So you have quite a large number of particularly young people migrating from our rural areas to the cities, and you don't need paperwork for that.
Do you actually need paperwork to move from
One part of Nigeria to the next.
I don't. You don't. It's just to widen your own beliefs.
Okay.
You've seen you have a neighbor. He went to the city. He came back driving a car. You don't know what he's doing there. But because he came back driving a car, you feel you want to go to also and drive a car.
Yeah.
That's the mentality we youth actually think right now. We feel since he went there and got a car, why can't I go and get a car? Then you get to the city, the first thing you see are big houses, big house,
Yeah.
wider streets, and then you get confused. You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
The first person you will meet once you come to the city is what they call them agbero, right?
Yeah.
You meet them and they'll introduce you to things that you're not even supposed to do. You won't actually meet the right people except you have someone who you're actually going to meet to introduce you to businesses, maybe
If you have the right support
buy and
system.
sell in the market. Yes. So
Yeah.
it's actually very difficult. And so
But Nike, what do you think? I mean,
Well, I
wouldn't
wanted
want to
to-
live out the rest of my life in the village.
No, I wouldn't. I wanted to ask him if I happen to find myself in Ghana and plant myself there. Does that qualify as illegal migration?
No. If you leave Nigeria properly with all your
Because
Travel
it's ECOWAS now, so I can go and
with-
settle in Ghana,
but
can't I?
even at that, do you have the ECOWAS passports?
is it valid?
Is it valid? Remember, every passport that you have also has an expiry date.
Okay.
Now, if you live here and move to the next ECOWAS country, what that means is that you must have your valid passport. If you don't have it, first of all, you are there illegally.
Okay.
Even at that, it's not as if you just enter that country, you begin to work. You must also seek permit to work in such a place.
Yes.
Where you don't have it, you are also working there illegally. Okay? So, if you move from any country to the other and your passport or your document, including visa, has already expired, you are also living there illegally. You have also become an illegal or irregular migrant
Yes.
in such a place. And you don't have any reason to continue to be there. That's why you see some of our people, when they travel and their papers have expired, they begin to run from one city
To
to the other.
Yes.
And in that, they run into all manner of dangerous situations. That is also where you get people who change from what we call smuggled migrants to a traffic victim. How? You have moved out of your country to a country where you don't have papers to be in. All of a sudden, you now discover that your papers have expired. You do not have permit to remain there. And what do? You now run into problems. The next thing is that you run into the hands of criminal gangs who are traffickers themselves. And they hold you and begin to tell you, this is what we need to do for you.
Okay.
And that is where you have now become a victim of trafficking. When that happens, whatever they tell you, that is what you will not do, because you believe that they will also protect you.
But even apart from that, I understand that there's this mafia-like kind of setup we have, right? Syndicates that we have right here in Nigeria that run around harvesting particularly young women with promises of taking them outside the country where they can go and work as nannies. They can go and work as nannies or domestic help. You're going to get paid in pounds and dollars. And you know, over there, that it's very hard to get nanny and all this thing. Or if you're willing to accept just a little lower than the other people, you make a lot of money. You'll be sending. And then you go there and then you discover that sadly enough, you're now part of a sex slave gang, where you know you have to sell your body to bring returns because they are now holding your international passport, and if you don't bring so much money you cannot ransom your passport so that you can leave the country. And I mean, it's really sad, but I do understand that there is such a thing, and it's a thriving concern right here in Nigeria.
It is happening not only in Nigeria, it is happening also in many countries, especially the developing countries.
Wow.
Okay? Because somebody capitalizes on the poverty around you. Somebody capitalizes on your own ignorance and begins to tell you that this other place is better than where you are. It also happens even within the country. Somebody capitalizes on your poverty in your village and tells you, I want to take you to Lagos. I want to take you to Abuja, where you begin to work, or take you to school, where you will have a good quality education. I will sponsor you. I will get you a job. This is the same promise they give to those who they take abroad. And you get there. If you are lucky, you go by air. If you are not lucky,
I like the way you put that. I like the way you put that, because there's a whole bunch of Nigerians trekking through the Sahara Desert
right now.
And braving the oceans and everything.
And many of them have died along the Sahara Desert. Many have died on the sea. Now, when you are lucky to even get to the place, if you are a lady, the first thing you see is somebody welcomes you very well. And skimpy clothes.
For the first 2 days.
They may not even give you the first 2 days, because some of them may have promised some customers that we have new, fresh consignments coming. And the customers are waiting, they want this fresh blood from Africa. You know? And you come, they give you skimpy clothes and tell you this is a so-so person, he will put you through. And because the person has been there, he's already an old hand. He tells you how it is done and blah, blah, blah. And you'll be shocked that maybe that night they will tell you it's time to work.
I'm interested in when you talked about a trafficked victim. I'm a mom. I also work. Would you categorize the Cotonou girls, I don't know how else, the girls that come in from Benin Republic to work in Lagos, because I lived in Lagos for a bit, are they trafficked victims? In the case where the mother of the girl herself has said, okay, go to Lagos and work, will I be wrong for employing that young lady?
First of all, this lady you are talking about, does she have any travel documents?
Okay.
That is one. Okay. Because most of these people you are talking about, what do? They go to Cotonou, they begin to harvest these girls or boys, and then bring them to Nigeria. Begin to go from one house to the other, or one shop or the other. Begins to hand over some of these girls or boys to them, negotiate for the pay of those people. Some of these people, they go to Cotonou and some of these West African countries, begin to harvest some young people with the promise that they are going to Nigeria to give them a job. And you know, Nigeria, to some of these countries, is like what the US, parts of Europe, are to many Nigerians. as Nigerians are looking up to those countries to go to, some of these countries are looking up to Nigeria as a destination. Now, when they come into a place like Lagos, they are distributing these children to various households, to various shops, and they are negotiating for their salaries, including the money they used for transportation. Now, these children are underaged in most cases. And the madam or the man who has taken these children now abuse them, use them for various form of child labor. No pay because he has paid somebody.
Okay.
The person has collected the money and is gone. Now, you have seen a slave in your hands and you begin to enslave this person.
And it's very painful.
When the
know.
law enforcement agencies or officers come to your doorstep,
Yes.
you will go in for it.
So why am I being embarrassed socially? Why am I being arrested for trying to help someone else?
Who were you helping? Who are you helping?
I'm trying to speak from the angle of the typical Lagos mother or Nigerian mother that needs a bit of help. I go to work, I need someone to help me with the children. So why am I the one being arrested? Why not the person that brought them in?
Why
from
are
Benin
you?
Republic?
Why will you not be arrested? If we arrest you, you help us
Locate
get to
the
the person who handed the child over to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I see your.
And apart from that, you're well aware that there's something shady going on. You don't know who this person is. You don't know the parents. The person that brought them is not related to them. You definitely know there's something shady going on.
yes.
Nigerians are smart.
And you also know that you are not treating that child well.
Okay.
That child will not eat what your children are eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That child will not go to
Brutalize them.
school, and he or she is almost the same age with your own
Subhuman.
children. You will not send them when you are buying clothes. You will not buy for that child. You will end up giving that child the ones that you have used and misused. So how
I don't treat
you
my
go
mom
to
that
places
way anyway,
people
but
we
I
know.
that's
Neither
the
do I,
standard,
but
that's the norm.
I've never understood the rationale behind arresting the madam.
No, I totally get it.
Now
Because
that
You're
explained it.
you're already part of the crime.
Yeah, part of the
Especially
crime.
when
You're
you're
already part of the
actually,
crime.
especially when you're actually abusing and marginalizing
Yes.
that child. If you are arrested, I don't think you even have a right to complain. Because you know
I
what you've
understand
done.
that.
Especially when you come to the female maids and house girls.
I just
you
wanna-
see some. You see
I'm
some
worried
that
for Nike right now. Our questions are going.
you
I'm
see
getting
some that
worried.
when they remove their clothes, you see
Yes, I
know.
iron,
Oh, yes.
iron marks
Yeah.
on
Oh,
their
yes.
body.
Yes.
It's painful.
Okay, let me give you an example. In Naptip, where I work, we once arrested one big woman. I won't mention where she worked.
Okay.
One big woman. We arrested her. What was her offense? She had a 9-year-old girl from Benin Republic who was her house help.
Okay.
Good. Even if you are living with this girl, if you are treating this girl, well, people may not know that such a thing is
They
happening
won't
in
even
your
know she's
place.
not your.
But this woman, this child, cooks for her
At the age of 9.
at the age of 9. This child does the laundry for her. Now, one day, the girl was ironing the clothes
And burnt something.
and burnt the clothes.
And madam went ballistic.
And madam
Use the iron on her.
used the iron.
No way.
No, she
they-
came home.
normal.
She came home,
It's normal.
saw the clothes, put back the iron on plugged the iron, and when it was now hot, she burnt her here.
Not even one place.
No. Remove her clothes, burnt her bum,
A 9-year-old
and
child.
yes, many other things. So neighbors saw it and shouted for help. She took this child, went to hide her somewhere else. Unfortunately, she did not even take this child
To a
to
hospital.
hospital. So it was when Naptip arrested this woman, we even saw
Other
injuries on this girl's head. She had been using the heels
Of her shoe.
of her shoes to beat this girl. Eventually, this woman was convicted.
Some people are monsters.
Yes, they are.
and you wouldn't know when you see them.
No.
But
They're in boardrooms.
with something
they're-
like that now, will you be talking about the person who brought her to her?
No.
That's the kind of thing that we're experiencing. So mothers have to be very careful, because most of these things, it is our women.
That's what, because
Yes.
I mean,
Most of it
conversations
is our
about
women
the women
that are
most
doing
times.
this. When you talk about men in some of these circumstances, you may talk about somebody who is trying to abuse,
Sexually
Sexually
usually
abuse
not
the
trying.
girl.
They usually
They usually
succeed.
do.
Yes. They
Yes.
usually do molest
know?
these children.
You know,
I mean,
but the
pedophilia is
women,
everywhere on that
the
ground.
type of wickedness, they expose these children to is unbelievable. And it's good you are women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can
I
we
feel
help?
there should be an
How
education.
can we, as women, help? Is it by seeing these kind of things in our friends' houses and speaking up against it? Is it by seminars or conferences? How do we change the mindset? Because this evil madam thing, it's becoming stereotype in some, you know, the house help and the evil madam. You know, what can we do at this stage to make things a bit better?
For me, like my Director General Julie Donnelly will always say, if you see something,
Say
say
something.
something. Don't keep quiet. Most of us, both men and women, we are living in silence. You see a crime being committed, you keep quiet. And
It's not your concern.
Yeah, it's not your
my
concern.
No, for the sake of peace.
You know,
It's not my business.
Even in traffic, when you see someone is being jumped with a gun to you just move your
It's
car.
not my
and-
business.
And move on.
Well, with the gun, I will definitely move on.
They
You're
ran.
scared.
Hello.
You're scared.
You're ready to go there.
Yeah, but you see, the point is that the culture of fostering that we used to know, we should keep imbibing such.
If I may jump in here.
Yes.
You know, nowadays we've borrowed so much of Western culture and values and everything. And then all of a sudden, your 10-year-old shouldn't wash dishes. It's child abuse.
That is wrong.
Your 7-year-old cannot finish his meal and take the plate to the kitchen. It's child abuse. We grew up in our culture. In our culture, children are given age-appropriate chores.
Yeah.
So it's normal for children to work in African culture. They don't die of it. It's when you give a child work that is way beyond their physical capacity, in my opinion, that it becomes abuse.
Yes.
However, go to the average village, watch 5-6-year-olds, they're street smart. They are good to go. They can look after themselves. And they are well integrated into the home. Everybody has something that they're doing. They are capable. They take care of themselves well, compared to their 5 or 6-year-old counterparts in town, who maybe are still feeding Indomie and so on. It's annoying.
They're not sharp.
I don't see anything wrong with age-appropriate chores.
Sure.
At this level, you should be able to do this and this. At this age, you should be able to do this. So that even if you bring that child from outside, give the child age-appropriate chores along with your children. For instance, I have a maid. First of all, my maid is an adult, right? Or a house help. She's an adult. She's well into her 20s. She has Sundays off. She comes and goes. You know, she comes in the morning, by 6, 7, she's done. She goes. The only thing she doesn't eat in my house is what she ordinarily would not eat. So if I prepare the kind of food that she's, for instance, she says that she doesn't eat beef. She will prepare Indomie or whatever else works for her. But it's not because, oh, this meal is too special for you to eat. No. She takes naps. She can watch the TV and things like that. Why? This is somebody I leave my house to and go to work.
Of course.
This lady she can use my toothbrush and swipe it around the toilet bowl and drop it for me. And I wouldn't know. She can spit in my meal when serving it. I wouldn't know. Even if I cooked it, what's to stop her after I've left? Opening the spitting inside because Madam slapped her earlier today. So I try to treat you as well as I can. So that even if you do me wrong in the end, I can satisfy my conscience that I treated you well.
That's right.
You are just a bad person.
That's right.
Yes.
Not that I'll now be beating myself up. Hey, maybe if I hadn't done this to her, she wouldn't have done this to me and so on and so forth. This is a human being. By what fluke of fate is it not me in her place? Why am I not the maid and she my madam? It's just God. So why do you bring somebody into your circumstance and then begin to treat them like a slave. If I bring a young girl from the village today, if my children are watching TV, she'll watch TV. If they are doing chores, she will do chores. Nobody will get treated special. If I'm buying them Christmas clothes, I'll buy for you.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send you to school. That's what I believe. You know why? I don't believe connection is by blood.
Sure.
If you bring
Sure.
this child from the village and you treat the child, you'll be shocked. Maybe it's this child that will treat you even better than your own biological
That's
child
correct.
20, 30 years from now, because that child will look back and say, hey,
If
this
not-
auntie treated me well when other people were bringing people from the village and treating them like slaves.
Yeah.
You never can tell.
Yeah.
You don't know what tomorrow will bring. So why will you bring somebody into your home and then begin to, well, what's that?
Lord over them.
I don't believe in that.
Mr. Josiah, I would like you to tell us about some of the efforts NAPTIP is doing. Are you talking to the youth more, or are you talking to the people on the streets more? What are the efforts right now about illegal migration? How are you trying to curb it as an agency?
You know, as an agency, we have what we call the four-prong approach.
Okay. Four.
Yes.
Okay.
We talk about prevention.
Okay.
We talk about protection, prosecution, and partnership.
Okay.
Because this crime is one that we need everybody on board. We can't do it alone as an agency. So each and every one of us must do something. And in dealing with all of this, we also have what we call whole of government and whole of society.
Okay.
Whole of government means every part of government, federal, state, or local government must play a role.
Okay.
Talk about whole of society, everybody must do something. And awareness creation is key to what we are doing. And we take this awareness creation to schools, to worship centers, to the rural community where most of these victims come from.
Okay.
We take this into those places. We even have clubs in the schools. We
What are they called?
call them at the primary and secondary school, we call them anti-trafficking brigades.
Okay.
At the tertiary institutions, we have them as anti-trafficking vanguards.
Okay.
Okay? So we use all of this to do some of these campaigns. Even in the rural communities, many rural communities that we go to, what we do is that after campaigning, holding meetings with the community leaders, talking to the community people at a rally, maybe in their village square, we also have what we call advocate groups.
Okay.
So that they can also help us when we have left the place.
So are the advocate, is that where the partnership comes in? Are those the people you partner
Yeah,
with?
that's part of
'Cause I was going
partnership.
to say, who do you partner with? It's definitely not the
No.
madam, because the madam is...
No. That one is a criminal. That one is a criminal. No, the partnership, when we talk about partnership, we are talking about various organizations that we know should play one role or the other. We talk about even the media,
Okay.
women organizations, the UN organizations, foreign organizations. We partner with them because it's not just a Nigerian matter. It's an international
It's an
matter. We
international
call it human trafficking on its own, which is part of illegal migration, is what we call the modern day slavery.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is happening now is modern day slavery, whether we like it or
Whether
not.
we like it or not,
But
it's true.
an interesting point is this. How are they able to source these legal documents? Is there some kind of, how do they obtain these illegal documents? Who is responsible for getting
that.
illegal documents across to
Let's
these
give him a
people
minute
that
to
need them?
think through all that about illegal documents, because I know that you
Yeah.
have some good stuff that you're going to tell us.
It would be
We'll
nice
take-
to know
Yeah.
how they're able to get these.
We'll take a quick
these
break.
things, yeah.
Conversations here on NTA talking about illegal migration, and we'll be right back after this.
When there's a child out there that's not getting the same that your own child is getting, the difference will tell, and there will come a time in the society where that child is going to take his pound of flesh.
Where you can actually, everything from watching a program with the child, you can start up the conversation from something on the TV and say, oh, you know.
For me, it's like, hurry up with this business. And the other one said, Auntie, it's not about me, it's about the guys. They're not ready to marry.
Yes.
See if she wants to ask something. No, I know my mother very well. In fact, the most interesting one is when I put up pictures on WhatsApp, you know, Snapchat filters and all that, she will call me, remove that picture. There was a day I got tired of all that and I said,
You're in the conversation room here on NTA. We're talking about illegal migration, and our expert in the house, Mr. Josiah, has been giving us lots of insight. We've been throwing a lot of questions his way. You were going to tell us about illegal documents and how people are even able to get their hands on it. Yeah.
Well, what I will tell you about that is that right now, it's quite difficult to get illegal documents because of what the Nigerian Immigration Service has done. The issue of illegal documents, because of the system of procuring passports now, it's quite difficult for you to have a document today and tomorrow you are coming up with a different document with your same name or whatever because of the biometrics.
Okay.
So it's quite difficult right now. And that's why even when you are traveling, they swipe your passport to know whether it is legal or illegal. And I don't think that anybody wants to be caught with a passport that is already not genuine in a place right now.
But what if my passport gets stolen?
If your passport gets stolen, you will go back to immigration service where you go through some procedures and they will give you a new one, but you cannot change your name. You can't change your biometrics. But that is Nigerian Immigration Service. But the fact remains that most of these people who are traveling now, I do not know how many of them still travel with illegal documents. They go and procure appropriate documents. Now, they get visas too, especially those who travel through the right entry points or exit points. Because when they go there, they will check out all of those things. But the fact now is that when people go to certain places, those documents, they will expire. Your visa, maybe you are given a visa for 2 months.
And then you overstay your welcome.
And you overstay your welcome in such a place.
And you go underground.
That has made you an irregular or illegal migrant at that moment because you don't have any right to remain there.
Good. So this sort of brings us back to the initial question I asked where I said, is it about the paperwork or about the intent behind it? And now we're realizing that the fact is most of them are traveling with proper and valid documentation.
Especially those who are traveling through the normal and proper route. Yes.
Yeah. And then they get there and then, okay, my visa has expired, but I really don't feel like coming back to Nigeria. So I'll just slip through the cracks and try and live an illegal life. And then that's where you
run into
trouble and all kinds of things.
Yes.
I know your day-to-day, I can't even imagine what it's like to be in the office every day. You must hear horrible stories of what old and young people go through trying to cross these channels, the Sahara Desert, through the seas. Maybe you could tell us some of them, because there's some youth watching conversation right now and saying, no, it's not that bad. I'm that one person that will make it. You know, when you have that feeling that I'll be the lucky one that will cross over. Maybe you can share some of those
I
stories.
said here earlier that migration itself, there's nothing wrong in it. It's everybody's right to migrate to wherever you want to migrate to, so long as you are doing it appropriately. But what we have discovered is that every Nigerian youth is thinking about how to leave this country, go abroad, where you are going to make a lot of money. But does it work that way? It doesn't work that way.
It's not as easy as it
because there is no free lunch abroad. Here in Nigeria, somebody could wake up and take all of us to lunch and pay. But out there, when somebody calls you, let's go for lunch, you're on your own. When we get there, I'm the one taking you, or who invited you, I will pay mine. You must pay yours.
Of course.
You must pay yours.
This is bringing me to this thing I wanted to ask. Now, you travel quite okay, you go over there, maybe you even make it, and then you start sending money back home. The truth is, it's not everybody that travels that doesn't make it. Some do make it. And maybe they become the poster boy for other people who, because I know one person who traveled illegally like that, and he's doing pretty well in Canada. And I happen to know his dear Igbo brother who is also trying to, he went through the Sahara Desert route and everything, and he's in Canada, and he's really doing good for himself. Yeah, he keeps sending cars home for sale and all that.
That must be one in amongst many.
Yeah, that's not the norm.
Yes.
But every now and then you stumble upon one or two of such success stories.
Yes.
But don't you think that, you see, this mentality of grass greener, it's a human thing. It's a human phenomenon. That's why people cheat even in marriage. You're married and then all of a sudden, oh, Emeka is such a wonderful man. He's the person I should have married, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to the grass is greener, there are very few people running to Nigeria.
Of course.
That's the truth. You have Cotonou, but the truth is most people don't want to run to Nigeria. Does that not speak to the fact that there is something wrong? Even those of us that are running away from Nigeria, we're not just running away because we're irresponsible and we don't want to sit in one place and we don't love our country. There has been a failure. There's a systemic failure, in my opinion.
See, let me tell you one thing. What you should understand is that as people are leaving Nigeria, people are also coming into Nigeria.
Yeah.
They're not many.
No.
But people are coming home. Some people are coming home. Some people are coming home.
Don't say they are not many. Don't say they are not many. There are many people who are also coming into Nigeria from our neighboring countries who have seen Nigeria, like I said earlier,
Cotonou,
as the America that we are seeing.
I agree. Okay. You understand.
But you see, but let me tell you one thing. Because she asked before concerning the stories, those gory stories, that our people go through. Because I'll come back to what you are saying. But you see, it's important that our people know that the grass is not as greener as they are thinking out there. One, our people go there and live a life of misery. You have left your comfort zone to a place where you are not sure, to a place where you are going to be enslaved by one madam for maybe 5, 6, 7 years, who has made you to sign a paper to say, I'm owing you 60,000 euro. I'm owing you 70,000 euro for bringing me here. And how do I now pay? I'm now doing your bidding. What is that bidding? I must engage in forced prostitution. I must engage in one form of forced labor or the other. And every day, the lady is on the streets prostituting. Every day, the person doesn't know when the sun is shining. You don't know when it is raining. You don't know when the snow is there. The point is that you are being pushed to go and do this job. The important thing is that the madam has said you must come home with so amount of money every day, because as you are coming, they are marking off how much have you paid. You are not, the slavery you are going through, I'm talking to the youths, the slavery you are going through, not for yourself. Somebody is collecting this money. For goodness sake, if somebody knows I'm going to do prostitution abroad, and you are going out of your own volition, and you are making this money and you're keeping it to yourself, why do I bother too much? But we are talking about the slavery, the exploitation that has come with it. Now, many of these people do not live to tell this story. Many of them are killed by some of the gangs, some of the people who are even taking them for the prostitution.
I've heard now that there's also organ harvesting going on.
Of course, that is the main thing.
Yeah.
That is one big thing that is going on now.
And it's mostly happening among the youths.
Yes, that is
Because
it has to
in
be young,
Africa as
fresh.
a whole, you have about 214 million people. A research I read about 214 million Africans that travel, and more than half of them are youths. Personally, I am a young person. If I get the opportunity to travel abroad, I will take it to the jump. I won't waste time. Why? Because we feel we're not really being used here in our own country. You see government, for example, what are the people there? They're mostly the older people. And we will go to school. They'll tell us go to school. We have
But we're trying to change that. I thought we were not
sorry,
too
the
young
key
to
to
run things like that.
the future
Yes.
is education. Now you've gone to school, you're out,
Yeah.
and the keys to the doors are changed.
Yeah, you
I
can't
know.
even get
You
a
can't
job.
even get a
I know,
job.
I know.
There are a lot of young people here that actually want to make an impact. They go out there, they're good doctors, good lawyers. Even if they use illegal means, there are some of them go through illegal means. Then when they are there, they actually get their proper documents. They can actually do it there, I think. Can they actually do it there?
Well, it depends on the
Well,
country.
it depends on maybe if you get asylum or something.
Yes.
There are also some that actually seek fake asylum with fake
Yeah,
reasons,
you know,
and
you know,
also
you know,
use
kinds of-
bogus marriages to actually get
our,
them.
you know,
Yes,
our
yes,
people
yes.
at times, people run. I'm from Imo State. Somebody goes to the UK and begins to claim that he's seeking asylum because that this Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria is what
And the
has,
Westerners love hearing those
is
things.
what you know that thing affected his father and mother in Owerri. Okay, and they were all killed. Their houses burnt.
Yeah.
This that.
Yeah.
Somebody in Owerri is talking about Boko Haram in Owerri, and
I
then
heard
because of
about
that,
that.
he's seeking asylum in such a place.
Yeah.
You know, that is why these days we also work in partnership with some of these foreign countries.
Foreign, okay.
In
Because-
fact, let me tell you a funny.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's a funny story. I know of a lady who sought asylum based on her sexuality because she's a lesbian. This lady is married with kids. But all of a sudden, she do Igbo country. All of a sudden, she became a lesbian who's been persecuted in Nigeria. And you know our laws now,
Yes.
the anti-gay marriage thing.
Yes.
Nigeria. If she comes back to Nigeria, they will lock her up. She's a lesbian. Oh, how can she do? They gave her citizenship. Oh.
Look at
See,
that.
that's painful.
Although she
I also
went,
heard of
legally anyway. She
yes,
went
I also
legally.
heard of
Start with-
one. He's an elderly man, like very matured. You'll see him facial, and he actually claimed he was 19 years old.
And they agreed.
The whole search of a thing was like really stressful, but finally, they actually agreed because why was it seeking asylum in the
Asylum.
mighty?
But it is important that the youths don't get discouraged.
But we have people that give us misguided thoughts.
Yeah, they may give you, but you see,
All the things you see on social media.
you see,
Yes.
flashy
the
things.
point here is, with all that you have gone through, you've gone to school, okay? Your parents have suffered to get you to the point where you are. Why would you also give in to somebody to now go and exploit you?
They won't come as
why
exploitation.
will you give in to a journey that you are not sure you will return alive? We are talking about organ harvesting
Yeah,
a while
that's
ago,
Scary.
which
That's
is the
really scary.
new thing that is happening now. And
Yes.
every day you hear about ritual killings here and there. And that's why my DG recently directed the officers in investigation that anywhere we hear about this issue of ritual killing, apart from what other law enforcement agencies are doing, investigating that is ritual killing, we must go in to be sure that this is actually ritual killing, because in the true sense of it, most of these things may not be ritual killing. Most of these people may just be that somebody has taken somebody somewhere, and with experts
Harvested organs.
where the organs are harvested. Because tell me, why would you see a corpse somewhere and you now discover that the heart is gone? It takes an expert to do it.
Yes.
It doesn't take any ritual. Does the ritualist actually know which one is which? In most cases, you know. So we must begin to look at some of these things, and that's why we must continue to be our brother's keeper. But for the youths, you don't need to be discouraged. Many people too who are in authority today, they were also once youths. But they have also gone through their own phase. But don't be discouraged, my dear. Don't be discouraged, because we continue to pray and work hard that our country continues to develop properly. Yeah. And I think we'll get there. Yeah. Let nobody be discouraged. You know, it's a passing phase.
I think they should have an educational something for we the youth, because I know I have friends that actually, as I said earlier, if they see the opportunity, they'll jump at it. I think apart from just the education, I should give them something doing. You come out, like when I was in high school, before we were about to graduate, they came to us, Monash University. They came to my school and they're like, okay, the best students will get this kind of scholarship or something like that. Why don't they come to the universities? Companies come to the universities and pitch to students. This is our company, this is this. And again, check the records of such students, even all the students, and then allow those students also pitch to them what they can offer and take it up from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just allowing them hustle for job, carrying fire here and there. You tell someone that you need experience of 15 years. How? Where? When?
Well, that one is there, no doubt about that.
Yes.
Is there, no doubt about that. But my own is, look before you leap. Many people have gone in search for that greener pasture. And let no one allow him or herself to be the victim. Because many people that have gone out, many of these youths, I do not know how many of them were able to reach this nation.
True.
Neither do I know how many of them will return alive.
Yes.
We have seen many of these people, because, like the story I was saying earlier, you discover that somebody is even getting to the point of completing the payment or the debt they put on her.
Yes.
And you discover that what is in her mind at that time is, oh, very soon I will have my freedom. Then I will now begin to recruit
People.
Yes.
people.
Yes.
You now discover too that some of those women, when they look at you and discover that, okay, you will now come into competition with us. When you finish, what would they do? They push you out to security.
Yes.
And you are arrested. When you are arrested, before you know it, you are brought back home as a deportee.
Wow.
Some come in home here with lots
of
of health issues.
Of course.
HIV/AIDS, hepatitis B, and name it. Some of them come in here with pregnancy without knowing who was involved.
Wow.
And at that point, when their pregnancy is there and they can't do anything to it, you have become a liability. What do? They push you out.
They push you out.
And you get yourself back home here. Because which man wants to sleep with a young girl that is pregnant? That's what they do. Because you also have become a liability both to the madam and whoever that they are sending you to. So there are lots of problems in all of this. So when you look at some of these, you ask yourself, is it worth it? It's not worth it, my dear.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
And also, some of we youths are actually naive. So I think parents also should play a role in helping to stop this illegal migration.
Work in changing the mindset of
Yes.
the way our youth think.
If my own
that.
case, if my mom wasn't educated, she would have allowed her children, because a man, they work in the same company. He came to her and told her, look at your beautiful girls. Let me take them with my children to go abroad. And my mother said no.
That's not my story.
Till after 10 years, before my mom heard that this man has been arrested. Why?
He was trafficking people.
Women, children.
One that
Children.
even happened, this one that was a story shared on Facebook. He told the story himself of how, he was just a reckless youth. I think he had finished secondary school, 17 or 18. At this point in life, when you're feeling like the god of thunder, or you're feeling like, which one? Hulk, Incredible Hulk. Yes, nothing can do me.
Yes.
Just like that, the Chinese, this rail thing, it's the Chinese that have been handling it in Nigeria, essentially. And they were recruiting for laborers in another part of the country. And he was like, why not? And he didn't even bother to go home and pack a few things into a small polythene bag. He just hopped on the train and went with them to God knows where. And well, to God be the glory, truly it was work. But according to him, they could never do anything to the satisfaction of the Chinese. They would come and, is this what you did? It's not okay. Then they won't pay them for that day.
Oh, wow.
So no money, no food, nothing. He said he endured this thing for like a month. Then he was like, wait, even in the Bible self, who was the prodigal son?
Yes.
That should be that one came back
Yes,
and
sir.
his parents
father.
refused.
Yes, sir.
And he traced his way back home.
He just quietly, he begged people for money here and there, hopped on the next available train back to Benue State, and his mother was weeping with joy when she saw him because she had almost
That's
run
such a good
mad,
story.
thinking that he had died.
Oh, wow.
And this is a Nigerian situation. No?
Yes.
And you know the new trend now, some so-called recruitment agencies are all over the country
Yeah. There's so many
in
things
the name
online.
of recruiting
I've seen
Nigerians
also.
Yeah. Yeah.
to
To go and
go
work outside.
and work in Saudi Arabia.
Especially
some-
Dubai.
Dubai.
Yes.
Thank you.
Go
I
and
see it
work to
also.
some of
Just
these
to see
Asian
pop-up
countries
messages.
Yes.
and all that, they have job opportunities for them.
Yeah.
And the question is, these people you are recruiting them in their thousands. In their thousands. So which country is ready to receive all of these people? So these are things that we are also looking at to know these people, where are they, which countries are these people going to?
Going to.
What are they going there for? And the searchlight of security organizations are on these people
Yeah.
right now. And why I'm saying this is the youths must be watchful. They must be watchful. It's not every opportunity that comes that is a good opportunity.
True.
We have
Yeah.
had an opportunity, a problem, an issue before in Lagos. Somebody woke up one day and said that he has a license from Canada to recruit thousands of people, professionals from Nigeria to Canada. And before you know it, this man has already collected not less than 12,500 Nigerians who he was charging 150 per person
That's good money.
to take them
That's
to
a
Canada.
lot of
150,000,
Yes,
right?
but you know the funny thing, Nigerians were falling
All over themselves.
all over themselves. Some people were paying up to 2.5 million to be
To be
to be
first.
To be prioritized,
among
to
the
go,
first
yeah.
people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by the time we got this information in NAPTIP in Lagos
The guy had made his
and went
money.
into that investigation, the guy had gone.
He'd gone.
Spanish.
And we went into
Imagine.
his office with court order to go into the office. We went in there and we saw these passports of people stacked into big cartons in
My
the place.
goodness.
And people were gathering in the place because they had been told we will travel on so day. They will travel on so day. No single visa was in any of those people, those things.
Mr.
But the list was 150,000.
My goodness. Mr. Josiah, thank you for coming in to the conversation room and enlightening us on illegal migration. It's been really good having you here with us. Our
Thank you
social
so
media platforms are still available. They're up on the screen for you. We'd like to hear from you. You might have a personal story that you would like to share with Faith and Divan and myself about illegal migration. Our Facebook handles, our Instagram handle, and our Twitter. It's there on the screen. We'd love to hear from you. My name is Nikki. I'll be signing off, and I'll leave my ladies to do that as well.
And Faith, goodbye.
I'm Deva Mom, and please, I'm not saying all Chinese are bad. I'm just talking about a particular incident, please. So.
All right, Mr. Josiah, you say goodbye too.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm Josiah. I've enjoyed my stay here today.
Thank you so much, and see you again soon in the conversation room.